You're still raring to go. Because we're going to talk about fashion and beauty and everything that moves us. This room always fills me with such hope and optimism. I'm coming to One Young World after 5 years, actually, after I moved to Chanel. And it's great to see that that same energy, optimism, hope is so much alive in this room. So delighted to be here. I'd said I would give a call out to my team at Chanel. Please give them a round of applause. Yes. I also want to give a shout out to our partners, our social impact partners, Rura, who works with rural youth in France, the Creative Mentor Network, who provide accessibility to creative industries, and Junior Achievement Worldwide that are supporting underserved youth. And in addition to everything we do, I am so proud that 17,000 people in Chanel contributed 40,000 hours to mentoring, supporting the local communities in which they live in. So let me reflect a little bit on what's happening in the world. You're hearing it from everyone. We see a time of extraordinary transformation in the world. The world's faster, louder, more interconnected than it's ever been. We see emerging technology. I'm not going to speak about AI. We've done that from yesterday. Yes, it's going to change everything. The way we live, the way we work, the way we learn, the way we shop, the way we innovate, everything. And it's going to displace 40% of the work that people do. It's going to be automated by 2030. But for me, the opportunity is not in the efficiency. It's in the time that we can have to be human, to care, to connect, to deeply care and create, because that's what this time should give us. I also see that interconnectedness is one of the greatest forces of our time, and there are lots of paradoxes in it. We see our lives, our economies, our ecosystems are interwoven like never before. Flood in one country can affect supply chain in so many continents. One idea in one country can shape culture globally. So we see this happening. 4.9 billion people use social media, not just to post selfies, but to mobilize movements, crowdfund climate action, and spark cross-border collaboration. But at the same time, we know that this generation is shaped by this constant information, constant comparison, digital overload, digital noise. So you see these paradoxes, that this interconnectedness makes the world stronger, but it also fuels division and drives loneliness. So when you see a world like that, that's chaotic, that you want to change, that you see these paradoxes, where do you start? Where do you start? And there are words by Chemistry Nobel Prize Ilya Prigogine that truly inspire me. When a complex system is far from equilibrium, it's the small islands of coherence in a sea of chaos that can uplift the entire system. So what is this island of coherence? This island of coherence is each of us, how aligned we are to our values, how our heart, mind, body, soul say the same thing, do the same thing, how we say what we do and do what we say, how we follow through with courage on what we believe in. Because you can't change the world unless you are aligned and anchored in who you are. You can't change the world if you're not coherent yourself, because that gives you the courage to do it. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I try and be an island of coherence and the personal resilience that I'm trying to build in this world. because that gives us agency and intentionality. You know, I'm going to talk about 5 things. 5 is a very lucky number for Chanel. It was Gabrielle Chanel's lucky number. And, you know, she created Chanel number 5 in 1921, still one of the most loved and admired perfumes in the world. I was very amused when the hotel put me up in room number 500. I said, they read the brief, you know, number 5. So I'm going to talk about 5 things. 1, my values, the first is compassion. Compassion is not a word used in business. It's seen as the soft stuff that someone somewhere outside the boardroom must do. But compassion is vital for me. I mean, as a leader, I have to take tough decisions, make tough choices, strategic trade-offs, but I always do that keeping in mind the impact on the person, the impact on the people that this decision will impact, and doing it relentlessly every time. And compassion is important to me because my life story has been a story of firsts. Being the first woman getting a chance to do something, being the first woman on the board, being the first Indian, the first Asian, the first person of color to lead a global luxury brand, and so on and so forth. And it has meant that I know exactly what it feels to always be on the side of a room, to always feel like your voice might not matter, to feel that you don't belong in any of the spaces that you are in. And that's why it matters to me that with the responsibility that I have of being first at so many things, that I make it easier for others who come after me. And that I ensure that everyone's voice is heard because everyone's voice deserves to be heard. And this means deeply listening to all perspectives. It means challenging your own. It means giving everybody the space to grow. Because I feel if each of us can do a compassionate act for someone else, we can truly change their story. The second value for me is audacity and dreaming big. Now, I grew up in a small town. I mean, I could have never imagined that I would have the chance to do what I'm doing today. Very humble background, no role models in town, humble school that barely got extended as I was studying. You know, cycled many, many miles to get to my school or college. You know, and if somebody had told me I would lead a luxury brand one day, I would have thought they're smoking something. Seriously, like I would have said, really? No chance. But you know, I always felt like I wanted my voice to be heard. Didn't know how, felt ambitious. Everybody told me that I couldn't achieve all the things I wanted to because I was a girl or because the town didn't have stuff. But that was the story I always heard. And I remember I was 9 years old and I stood in front of a classroom and we all had to share our ambition of what we wanted to do in life. And I said, I want to be the Prime Minister of India. And the whole class erupted in laughter because it was so much out of the realm of possibility for anyone that it could only be a joke. But you know, those sort of dreaming big lit some fires in me. I really would encourage you to not go by what is established, what you can imagine that exists. Dream big. Go for something that you know you can never achieve. It doesn't matter. It's the trajectory that matters. It's not the destination. And it lights fires. And it allows you to grow and create space for everyone. My third value is optimism. Very, very important that we choose to see the light. Yes, the world can be overwhelming, but progress can't be made on fear. It's got to be made on hope. And to me, even the flowers turn towards the sun. If you're a leader, you've got to find the light in you and radiate that light so that others can follow you. There is no question you can't be a leader without true optimism and true sense of injecting possibilities in everyone. And these are muscles we have to build. You know, I still write a gratitude journal every day of my life. 3 things I'm thankful for. I've been doing it for about 3 decades. Yeah, I tried to get my children on it. They said no. When they're in the teenage years, they said we're not grateful for anything. So forget less. But you've got to build the muscle. You've got to think about what you can control. You have to think about what do I have agency on. You have to be intentional in the language you use. Being a victim, not going to get you anywhere. Being intentional. I'm very careful not to call the world tumultuous, horrible, because then I don't have agency. I want to have agency. I want to have control. I want to know what I can make a difference to. The fourth value is curiosity and humility. Curiosity, huge, being open-minded, learning all the time. In fact, I joke that we all should have an L hanging on our neck, like the car or the scooter or whatever we are driving has. We've got to be learners all the time. I even had a podcast called Learn with Leena because I wanted to show people that no matter how senior you get, you never stop learning. So learning's so important. When I moved from 30 years in Unilever, where I was an FMCG expert, to moving to Chanel, where I knew nothing about luxury, it really encouraged me to be extremely humble and extremely curious. The first 6 months, I think my most used words were help me understand. Help me understand how we pleat this skirt. Help me understand how we make this bag. Help me understand how we create this fragrance. It was always help me understand. Seek to understand before I sought to change. And the fifth value that has helped me build my coherent muscles is understanding the why. Knowing why you get out of bed every day, knowing what excites you, what enthuses you, why you do what you do. Call it vision, call it knowing your why, call it purpose, really working on that. You know, I really connect to all of you because I have two sons who are 27 and 23. Absolute pride of my life. Keep me humble and grounded. I don't think they ever think it's necessary to pay mom any compliment whatsoever. But, you know, they keep me grounded, they keep me sane. And, you know, my older son would ask me, Mom, you speak about purpose all the time. How do I find it? Like, how do I know my why? Where is it going to, you know, how does one go about it? And I told him, go and speak to 10 people you love and adore and who know you well. Ask them what they see as your biggest strengths. And he came back quite surprised that there was such consistency among the 10 people he spoke. And he said, you know, all of them saw my love for mathematics. They said that my eyes sparkle when I speak about mathematics. They had all seen his love for connecting with people. So start somewhere, but make sure you know your why. It gives you the courage and resilience at times like these. But that's for an individual. That's how I'm trying to build myself to be an island of coherence. But what does it mean when you're leading an organization of 40,000? How do we become that island of coherence? And we become that island of coherence first by looking at our founder. Gabrielle Chanel was a radical innovator. She was a trailblazing entrepreneur, way ahead of her time. 100 years ago, she designed clothes for women, creating freedom of movement. She created trousers. Thank God for that. She created little black dress, crossbody bags so that women could ride bikes, ride horses. And in all that was about freedom of becoming for women, because it is about supporting women to be and become, and men too, to be and become whoever they want to be and become. Because what you wear is not just a self-expression, it empowers you to be who you want to be. I felt like today I wanted to be a rock chick girl. So I said, yeah, there we go. You know, what you wear determines... It is. You know, so it's hugely empowering. Yeah, fashion has joy. Fashion is beauty. Fashion is empowering. It's one of the most followed industries in the world. It's the most posted industry on all social media put together. So it has power. It has power to inspire. It has power to influence. So we look at our founder for that inspiration. Our shared value, which we live every day, is having a positive impact in the world. Net Zero 2040. Chanel is one of the few luxury brands that's made a commitment to Net Zero 2040 and are determined to make it happen. Chanel Foundation is one of the world's largest corporate foundations dedicated to women and girls. We spend $125 million a year supporting 250 partners in 50 countries, impacting close to 10 million women and girls every year in safety, social and economic empowerment, and in climate resilience. So we continue to invest in philanthropy. And positive impact in the world means making difference to arts and culture in the world. We partner with 50 cultural institutions across the world, from Power Station of Art in Shanghai to Centre Pompidou in France. We support them all because we are continuously investing in the next generation of artists, in the next generation of thinkers, because we believe that artists sense and smell where the world is going. They create the world of tomorrow, and we can support them in doing that. And we continue to be an island of coherence, a beacon of inspiration by respecting our heritage, but continuing to reinterpret our heritage and propelling into the future, shaping the future. Gabriel Chanel always said, "Je veux être de ce qui va arriver." That was essentially, I want to be part of what's next. You can't lead a fashion brand if you're not part of what's next, if you're not shaping what's next, if you're not in the cultural conversation, if you're not shaping the cultural conversation. And she always talked about that, and that's part of her DNA. If you haven't watched a fashion show, I would encourage you to watch Matthew Blazy, our new creative director's debut fashion show in October, because it was a historic moment for our house where we reinterpreted our heritage to push boundaries and propel us into the future. And you will see the joy, the lightness of being that a few minutes of beauty brings to the world. So that's what we continually do by living the shared values to be that island of coherence as a company, as a brand. So what's my key takeaway to you before Kate gets anxious that I've completely destroyed time? My key takeaway to you is that you are the present, as Maria said, and she's amazingly inspiring, and you are the future. Yeah. But you can't create change in the world if you're not fully aligned with who you are, what you want to do, the impact you want to have, and why you have the courage to do it. So be that island of coherence, because when you're that, you will inspire everyone else around you. You will be a source of strength and support for the communities you lead. You know, you are the voices we need to hear. You are the next generation of prime ministers, presidents, governors, business leaders, entrepreneurs. More than ever, we need your voices to be heard. We need your actions to count. I mean, yesterday I was with a group of many of you and listening to Janina in Peru creating an AI instructor that helps to create sign language in real time, to instruct in sign language, because only 20% of the deaf community have access to sign language. So making it more accessible to the wider society. Or Tavis from the US, who's trying to make sure AI and technologies are made accessible to people in underserved areas so that there's no bias, there is more access to those tools. So you have so much going for you. You are the voices we need to hear. You are taking the actions that count in the world. And I know that as I see this group, and I'm always reminded that coming to One Young World gives me this sort of real surge of energy, because I feel so confident when I look around the room. I feel so confident that when all of you get together, you will inspire and uplift the entire world. Thank you.